Hi, today's card will feature a design that I did using the Memento Dewdrop inks, but I wanted to show two different ways to come up with a very similar look. I'm doing one version is using watercolors, and the other version is using the Stampin' Up Gorgeous Grunge stamp set. My original design, which you see here, was using the Memento Dewdrop ink pads. And this ink pad, I took it and put several different colors together and dragged it across the card to make this a visual effect that you see here. And I mentioned when I made the video that there are other ways to do it if you didn't have these dewdrops. So let me show you how I did it. And this is the one using the Gorgeous Grunge stamp set, which I like. I have one stamp which has the stripes and the other stamp which has the splotches. And I did a pink version and a blue version for all of these cards. And I used the same colors for the new cards that I had in the dewdrops. The next version I used watercolor pencils to get this look. All I did was take the three different colors of pencil and streak across the paper with the pencil and then use my water pen to blend the color out. I also changed the sentiment a little bit on the new cards from the original one. You can use any watercolor pencils you had. They all work the same. For the watercolor card, I have watercolor pencils in 3 shades of purple and pink for the pink card. Additionally, I have a deeper shade of purple and a shade of green for the inside. And for the blue card, I have shades of blue. I also am going to be using my water pen to blend these colors out. For the Gorgeous Grunge card, I have the Stampin' Up Gorgeous Grunge stamp set, and I have all of the inks that I used in the original one. Sweet Plum, Lilac, Posies, Lulu, Lavender for the pink, Summer Sky, Bahama Blue, and Danube Blue for the blue card. All of this will be listed down below in the detail section. The card materials that I'm going to be using additionally is a rose card base cut at 8.5 by 5.5, a white panel cut 4 by 5.25, a black mat cut 4 by 5.25, and a white panel cut 3 3/4 by 5. If you're going to need the blue card, of course you'll need a blue card base. I have a Inkadinkado Happy Birthday clear mini stamp set. And I also have the Inkadinkado Coastal stamp set. I have the Fiskars Make-a-wish Quotes stamp set. There's a lot of quotes in there. And I also have just a general butterfly, dragonfly stamp set that I have. There's no name to it. Starting with the pink card, I have put my pencils in order, I thought, but I made a mistake on the blue card, as you see in a minute. And I just streak the colors across the paper from one to the other. And then when I do the blue card, you could see me, I accidentally picked up the wrong card. And I think that I did the mistake here, but I'm not sure. But the only way to tell is to actually put the water in the card. So you'll see me put the water in, and then I can see very clearly that the colors are in the wrong order. And I started to edit this part out, but I decided to leave it in so that you can see the mistake that I made. And it was just a simple matter of grabbing the new piece of paper and fixing it and starting again. And as you see, I got the proper look that I was trying to go for. And I'm wiping my pen off between colors out of screen so you can't see that because I don't want to dirty the colors up. And now for the Gorgeous Grunge version, I need to bring in my Misty. And I've already pre-stamped on the grid paper where I needed the stamps to be so that I can easily line them up when I make the new card. So you see me lining the stamp up with the striped part, transferring it to the door, and I've taken the extra mat out because these are not the photopolymers, so I need the extra space. And I'm bringing in the 3 shades of blue and just inking up the stamp and stamping the first one. And now I'm going to take and slide the paper up a little bit. I have to clean the stamp up to make sure I don't transfer any ink at this point. And I move the paper up a little bit so that the next stamping will be just below where the original stamping was. And you see I'm being very careful to make sure that the alignment is where I need it to be. And then I take the second shade and I ink the stamp up and clean it and repeat the step for the next color. And the pink and the blue card is done identical. So I'm going to speed the pink part up a little bit. Now I need to get the next stamp, which is the splotches. And as with the stripes, I've already pre-stamped it, so I know exactly where I want that stamp to go. Put it in place and transfer it to the door. And then I bring in the pink paper and I go through the same steps with this that I did with the stripes. And now for the outside of the card, I did the same trick with the grid paper that I did with the stripes by pre-stamping it, and so I know where to put the stamps and transferring them to the door. I also needed to bring back the pad in because these are photopolymer stamps, which needed the extra height of the mat. And for the watercolor panel, it's a little bit warped from the moisture, so I needed to give the paper a little bit of squeeze and bring in a magnet to hold the paper in place. But it's the same method that I used on the other one. So this part I just go through, and then I have flipped the paper over, and I have the same little trick for the butterflies. So now you know why the grid paper is so useful for this Misty. When I did the butterflies, I didn't get a good impression the first time, so I needed to stamp it again. This is another benefit of using the Misty, that you can fix little issues like this. And now I moved on to the inside of the card. The inside of the pink cards features a butterfly and a sentiment, and the inside of the blue card features a sailboat and the same sentiment. And I'll also be doing a little bit of watercoloring to bring some color into the image. For the inside, I decided to match the inside technique to the outside technique. So for the Gorgeous Grunge stamped card, I am taking the inks that I used on the outside and I pressed it onto my clear block, and I'm picking up the color with my water pen. And I have done the same thing for the wings of the butterfly. I used a darker purple. This doesn't hurt the clear block at all. It just wipes right off. For the leaves of the plant, I brought in the distress marker and I did the same technique. For the watercolor panel, I'm taking the watercolor pencils and coloring in the flower and the butterfly and the leaves. And then I will bring in the water pen and blend out the colors. And for the blue inside panels, I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking the watercolor pencil and going on one and the blue ink on the other and blending both out with the water pen. But the look is almost identical. And now I'm going to assemble the card. Using my bone folder, I'm pressing the seam in the card bases. And then I will adhere all of the inside panels to the card bases, making sure that I don't mix up the blue and the pinks. I usually do the inside of the card first in case I make a mistake. Then it would be a simple matter of just grabbing a new card base and recreating the inside panel, and a lot less work. The outer panels, I'm matting them to the black, being careful that I line it up properly. And I think I grabbed 2 of the black panels instead of 1, which I figured that out later on. And then once I have the panels ready, I put them onto the card base itself. It's at this point where I realized that I was missing a mat, and the only reason for it was that I had double matted. So you'll see me go and take it, and I think for a second, rather than stop the video, to go ahead and adhere the blue to the pink, but in the end I said no, I'll just go grab another panel because I had one ready. And that's the finished cards. The watercolor one was very easy. If you can recreate it using whatever watercolor pencils you have. The stamp set that I use, Gorgeous Grunge, you may have something similar which you could use to design a similar design yourself. The point of this video was to show you that you have a lot of options. You can employ your own creativity and your own materials and do whatever you want as long as you're having fun, and in the end, that's what's important. I appreciate everyone watching my videos. Thank you for spending time with me. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I try to put out new content pretty frequently, and I really appreciate all the positive feedback I'm getting from everyone. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.